Good morning, everyone. Welcome back on this Memorial Day Tuesday post-weekend. We will get started here in just a few minutes. We've got about 3 minutes to go, and I will be very excited to introduce our special guest. Actually, I'll have him introduce himself too. Meanwhile, I'm going to make sure we've got our live stream going on Facebook. Let me go to where I need to go. Okay, we're going live. Meanwhile, those of you that are on, let's go ahead and send a shout out where you're tuning in from and how your weekend was. Hopefully you got to do something fun. Let's go ahead here. Are you still there, Mike? Because my screen just did something funny.
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right, good. All right. It looks like we're live on Facebook. So, all right, everyone, look at all the shout outs here. We've got folks tuning in from Massachusetts. Oh, Cape Cod, I'm so jealous.
Yes.
It's beautiful there. So, hey, Russ, I'm glad you had a great holiday tuning in from Greenwood, just south of Indianapolis. We've got Gil from Massachusetts. So it looks like we have a good sound and video check from everyone. So say hello, everyone. We got 1 minute to go. And we're excited to share with you all of our cool stuff today for Tech Tuesday. There we go. We got Rhode Island and Evansville. Good to see everyone. Can't believe it's been Memorial Day weekend already. So for all of you to know, Mike and I are in downtown Chicago. We've pretty much been on lockdown for what seems like the entire year. So
yeah, pretty much.
It's so those of you in the wide open spaces, we're extremely jealous of you. All right, Golden Valley, Minnesota. Hello, Scott. Well, I want to officially welcome everyone. So good morning. Hope you had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. My name is Michelle Hoyt, and I am excited to once again be hosting Tech Tuesday for RE/MAX INTEGRA. And welcome to those of you that have joined us from outside of the RE/MAX INTEGRA region. I know that we have from all over RE/MAX. Thanks to social media, you're all joining our events, and we love to have you. We're RE/MAX, we're one big family, and we really appreciate it. So we have a lot to talk about today. I'm super excited to have our special guest today. I'm going to have him introduce himself in just a moment, but I do want to just quickly mention a couple of housekeeping things. You're on a webinar, as you know. A lot of you are already used to this. You're pros at this. Please put your questions in the Q&A folder. You'll see that at the bottom of your screen when you hover down. I will be monitoring both the chat box and the Q&A box. So we just want to make sure that you know where to talk to us. We want to hear from you. Mike wants to hear from you. He has a lot of great things to share. So we love to get those questions in, and let's kick off this post-holiday weekend in a big way. So I'm very excited to have our special guest today. I'm going to have him introduce himself. I'm also going to put up a slide with a little bit about Mike. And Mike, excited to have you here this morning. Good morning, my fellow Chicagoan.
Yeah,
And
good morning,
please
Michelle.
introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you guys all for joining this morning. Happy holiday, I guess. Yeah, my name is Mike Opyd. I've been a realtor in Chicago for over 12 years. I'm a top producing realtor in a city. I have actually opened up my own brokerage almost 3 years ago. And we have just recently expanded to our second office. So, less than 3 years, we already had 2 offices, over 30 agents. Together between 2 offices, we do over $100 million in production. At the same time, I started a real estate coaching business this year, where I'm just helping coaching agents. So that's another thing that I've been doing, and it's really where my passion lies now, a lot more than in selling. I just actually really like helping realtors a lot more. It's kind of where my transition has gone in my career. Still selling because we got to pay our bills, but definitely enjoy the coaching aspect and the educational piece a lot more than I do actually selling. So that's my main focus right now, and that and growing my office Remax Next, and looking forward to talking to all you guys today.
Great. Thank you, Mike. And I'm sorry the screen looks the way it does. For some reason, when I go into full presentation mode and when we're on Facebook Live, the screen does something askew. But yeah, so no, Mike we're so glad to have you here this morning. Everyone, take note of his contact information here because a lot of you contact me for Chicago referrals, and we're always glad to help you out. But please keep Mike in mind. He covers the entire Chicagoland area, even though he is located in Chicago. He's willing to go out to the suburbs. He has agents that'll go out to the suburbs. So just keep that in mind and keep him in mind for those referrals, and we're glad to have you. And Mike actually is, I think he's being modest because he's got just opened a second location, and he's one of the newer owners in this region, and we're just thrilled to have you. So today's topic, everyone, is online reputation, and there's no better person to have on here today to share with you than Mike, because he has been a master at this. And a lot of you you're either uncomfortable by promoting yourself, or you're a little intimidated by it, or you don't know where to get started. And Mike is an incredible resource to help you with that. So you've already told us a little bit about you, but can you share a little bit more about when you actually got in real estate? What is your why, Mike? Why did you get in real estate, and why do you continue to do it today?
Yeah, so I jumped into real estate in 2008, right after the housing crash. I left a comfy corporate job. I just couldn't stand it. It was 9 to 5, sitting in an office, staring at Excel spreadsheets, doing partnership tax accounting, which is just as exciting as it sounds. But I really realized that wasn't for me. I just could not sit there, and I really couldn't work for someone else. I wanted to start my own business, do my own thing. Had no idea what I wanted to do with my life. And then, basically had $2,000 to my name. I was living at home with my parents. I just moved back from Boston, actually, where I was working. And I actually fell into real estate just by calling my cousin, who was a realtor, asked her a couple questions about investing in real estate just because I'm curious and I want to learn. And 30 minutes later, I was absolutely hooked. I knew right there and then that's really what I wanted to do. So I jumped headfirst in. I had no safety net whatsoever. I had no other forms of income. My parents were probably getting tired of me living there, and that was really true actually. When I was working in my room, and my mom actually came in one day, and she was like, kind of asked me like, "Well, are you ever going to get a job?" and I told her, I'm like, "Well, I have a job, Mom. I'm a realtor." And she's like, "You don't have a paycheck. That's not a job." She said it a little bit more crudely than that, but it's definitely something I have vividly remembered since that day. And that was kind of one of the biggest driving factors now is every single day I'm trying to prove her wrong in a sense. So that's definitely one of the things that has always stuck with me is that as, kind of like a visualization of I want to make sure that she understands that this was the right decision. I think she does, but it's still driving me every day to do that. But, my big why is there's some personal things, of course, we should all have our own personal whys, but one of my biggest reasons for doing this is that I disagree with how realtors are portrayed. First off, just from the aspect of wanting to help realtors, we are still looked at as used car salesmen, and it is amazing to me that that's the case when we are helping people with the biggest financial decisions of their lives. Buying and selling is hundreds and thousands of dollars, yet we are still looked at, just like someone portrayed in a movie. And so one of my driving factors, my big whys, is I'm trying to help realtors get rid of that stigma, one at a time, however long it takes. But that's one of the biggest things. The other thing is, I've seen one of the reasons why I started Remax Next is just that I looked across all the other brokerages in Chicago. I've worked for a bunch, and I just disagree with how they are structured and how they're run. They still have an archaic mentality. They're still outdated. They don't treat their agents well. They're still acting like it's before the internet was ever invented. And that name meant something on the exterior because it would draw people into the office. And it's just not really the case anymore. Everyone looks online first. Like 97% of buyers start their search online, and that's only going to get even higher at some point when older generations pass on, and now the millennials are, their children are the ones that are going to be buying. So the Gen Zs. So I just looked at that and I go, this isn't right. I want to change that. So that's why I started RE/MAX Next, and RE/MAX was so attractive to me because it gave me the freedom to really run the company, the brokerage, the way I wanted to, and then backed by the biggest name in real estate. So it was really like a no-brainer to do it. And we've so far had a lot of success with our model, and every day those are the type of things that I'm pushing for, and why I get up at 6 a.m. every morning.
Oh, that's great, Mike. And just so everyone understands, I mean, Mike's story, it's really important to note that he started brand new in this business and at a time when probably was the worst time to get into the business. So building an online reputation for him has literally been from the ground up. It's like he's been under construction with that and has figured out a way to make a name for himself. And so before we get into the specifics, everyone's sharing right now how they've made adjustments in their business to what's going on in the world, Mike. So what are some of the key things that you and your agents have done in the most recent weeks to do real estate here?
There's a couple of things. Virtually obviously is one of the biggest things now, the virtual walkthrough. So if you guys are not doing 3D walkthroughs, Matterport Technologies, you are doing your sellers a huge disservice. And that was one of the biggest things. It's something that I've done for, I think, almost 7 or 8 years now. I always do a 3D walkthrough with my properties, no matter what the price point is. It's awesome because you could share this link with people. And this was obviously before COVID. And it was amazing how many people would walk through there before ever seeing the property. So you're kind of vetting these people up front. Now, so more than ever, if you're able to share links with people and let them virtually walk through a place just like it was Google Earth, that's one of the biggest things you can do to make sure that they really do want to see this place. Because if your sellers are opening up their home to someone who, let's just say it, potentially could have the COVID virus, I mean, you got to make sure these are real buyers and this is a real, serious situation. So that was one of the biggest things we're doing. Video tours are now becoming more the norm we're seeing. The problem with video tours, though, is they're not cheap. No. Production companies will do this for you. They cost $500 or $600. I think they're great for higher price pointed properties because you could justify it by what you're going to make on the commission, or you could even pass that on to your sellers. So we're seeing that becoming more the norm now. I personally do not think the video tours really sell the property as much. I think it's more marketing for us, which obviously is not a bad thing, just not cheap marketing. So that's one of the other things that they're doing is people just want to visualize it before going there. So those are two of the biggest things. HD photos are a must. If you are still using crappy photos, you are totally doing yourself a disservice and your seller. It's just not going to move a place. You got to have it. One of the other things I highly suggest too is if you see how Zillow is run, which people are, of course, still on Zillow, is they need 25 photos for it to rank higher. So, if you're not getting enough photos done of a property, even if it's a studio condo, get shots of the area, get shots of the building, the common areas. Just try to scrape together 25 photos. Throw a floor plan on as a pick at the end. Get to 25, it'll rank higher in Zillow. So those are some of the things that we're doing here for sure, just to kind of combat what we're dealing with.
Yeah, that's great. And it is all about virtual. So, and just to remind everyone again, if you take advantage of the free Zoom account that RE/MAX has provided for you, that's a great tool for you to be utilizing. And I think a lot of you have taken advantage of that. So when you first got into real estate, so Mike, what steps did you take to start promoting yourself, or did you even know what to do at that point?
So my cousin is actually a pretty good mentor. She's my first one. So she's, she was big into technology. So I kind of was looking at what she was doing, along with doing my own research. So obviously one of the first things is setting up your social media accounts. You need to maximize your social media. Like your profiles is what I'm talking about. Like if you don't have a complete profile and it doesn't say you're a realtor, you don't have a good banner, you don't have a good photo, you're right there doing yourself a disservice. And that was one of the first things I did was I set up my social media properly. I set up a marketing campaign to my database, which I speak heavily about to anyone because that's really how you build a real estate business.
Right.
So I put together that plan, and I have since I put it together, I've executed it every single year. I reach out to my people 32 times a year. And those are some of just the easiest, biggest things that I just started doing right away is literally just getting my name out there, calling, texting, just making sure people knew I did get into real estate. And then over time, what ends up happening is that repetition is what ingrains in their minds like that, oh yes, Mike is a realtor. And if you're not doing this, if you're not marketing to your people first off, and then using social media on top of that, they're not going to think of you first.
Right.
So that was one of the things I did. And then I did a lot of research on branding and marketing, to kind of just understand what big brands are doing. And it's something I continue to do this day. And one of the things I found though is that in my research is that statistically people know 3 realtors, and that's just how it is. The thing is, what I do is I go, okay, and this is an example I use with the people I coach. I go, all right, name a soda company right now off the top of your head. Most people say Coke or Pepsi, right?
Right.
The way our brains work though is once you think of that first brand, you're going to think of 2 other brands. So if people say Coke, then the next thing they say is Pepsi and then like maybe Mountain Dew. You got to be Coke. You have to be Coke in these people's minds because if you're not Coke, they're reaching out to Coke and you're now Pepsi and Mountain Dew and they may never get to you. So I understood that early on and seeing what my cousin did. And since I started, it was just, I knew I had to get the name out there, and then the consistency behind is the second thing. Like if you're not being consistent and you're not planning out what you're doing and you're being really sporadic and erratic, it's not going to work. You have to make sure that you are being consistent with your posting, consistent with when you're sending out stuff to your database, because again, you're just building that memory of you in these people's minds over and over and over. And like statistically, we're hit with branding 5,000 times a day. I mean, just think of all the Pepsi, the beer commercials.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's ridiculous. It's on everything. It's on our Spotify when we're listening. It's on Pandora. Like you can't get away from branding. And we got to fit somewhere in these people's minds inside of that 5,000. We got to put ourselves as well. And the only way to do that is to consistently hit these people with your name and your brand. So that's what I did pretty much from day one. And it's just paid off. And I can't even tell you how many times over since then.
So Mike, you said, and I know someone's going to ask, you touch your database approximately 33 times a year. Just give us maybe 3 examples of what are some of the things that you send?
I will make this so easy for you guys. I spend 30 minutes a month on my database, and that's it. And when people hear that, they kind of like don't understand. Look, you don't have to spend a lot of time on your database to get success out of it. One of the things I highly suggest is that you send them a newsletter. And I just cannot tell you how much business I have gotten out of this. And it's so simple to do. Go to MailChimp. MailChimp is free. You could send out 1,999 emails before they ever charge you a dime. Set a template up. It might take you an hour that first time or whatever. They have templates there. Tweak it, add your branding, add your marketing stuff to it, anything you want to do. And then literally go in every single month and send that out. And I'll tell you, if the more people you add to it, it's incredible. I literally get people responding to a newsletter I sent months ago, asking me for help. And I've sent them multiple newsletters since then. That's how powerful a newsletter is. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. Add a couple of, add a couple really good articles. You could grab them from anywhere online. add a synopsis of the, the market, or just like a market summary, or just some kind of an intro in the beginning. And then, put your listings on there. I always do one listing I have. I don't want to put too much on there, but again, making sure they understand that I am in real estate. So if you're not doing that, first thing you need to do is create that, put your database together in there in MailChimp, and just send it out. I can send you examples if you want. Please feel free to reach out. I'll show you what I do. That's the first thing. Second thing is I send out a postcard every single month. So I do my newsletter on the 1st of the month, 15th of the month, I send a postcard out. I actually go into Remax Design Center in Mac Center and literally just send it out from there. And it's a just listed, just sold, coming soon. If I want an award, it's just more marketing for myself. And I love that because, you're hitting them with, on the tech side, you're hitting them with the email, which everyone's going to see because obviously the email. Oh, but really quick before I get into that, I also love MailChimp because the analytics behind it are awesome.
Yeah.
So you can really see who opened your stuff. You can see how many times it bounced, so you could fix emails. So the analytics are huge on that. So I want to make sure I said that. But the postcard, I think, is important. And it could be anything. It could be even like a calendar or something like that. But something tangible, I think, is so important that them to actually see it in the mail, hold it, and they're going to throw it away. Let's just be honest. Or they're going to, use it to go under their dog when the dog goes to the bathroom. But it doesn't matter what they do with it. That second that they're holding on to that postcard and they see my name, they see real estate, that's all I care about. So I send that out. And then I do an actual more personal thing every quarter. I send a quarterly update to my database. And this is where it takes a little bit of time just to research the numbers. But the cool thing is you do it once a quarter and you send it out to, maybe I send out to 5 people Monday through Friday. Not very time consuming because I literally just copy and paste the body of the email. I've already done the research. I know, what the days on market are, prices are doing. And I tweak it depending on obviously what quarter I'm in. But then I'll send that out with just a personal message up top where maybe I see something on Facebook. I'll look them up quickly to see some kind of life event happened or really just to kind of just generally how are you doing type thing. But it is a little bit more personalized so that these people know I'm not just a robot. They actually do see that I am taking some time to reach out to them. And really, it takes me, honestly, 30 minutes a month, maybe an hour max if it's a month that I have to do a little bit of more research for the quarter. But if you can't spare an hour a month marketing to the people that are going to send you your business, then you're not going to make it in real estate. I mean, I can't make it any more simpler for people. And it's been crazy. Like some of my agents that I've told them about the newsletter, they were so dead set against it. And I forced them to do it. And they said their response has been unbelievable. They picked up listing, they picked up more clients, they've gotten referrals from it, all from one simple thing that was free. I don't know how much easier you can make it.
Right. No, that's fantastic. And just so everyone knows, I get Mike's touch points. I get his newsletters, I get his postcards. And one of the things that I really like that you do in your newsletters is like you said, you include an article that just says, hey, here, are you wondering what buildings are under construction in the city? Here's what they're going to be. Or here's what's coming in this neighborhood. So for those of you that are thinking, yes, I'm in a small town, how can I relate to Chicago? It's really the same thing. You do your research. A lot of you already know if there's a new strip mall being built, what stores are going to go in there. Just find out what's new, what's happening. Even road construction, everyone always wants to know when's it going to be done or why are they doing road construction. Just anything from the area works out really good. So great. And the postcards from Design Center for sure. So, and that brings us to the next thing. So again, those of you that are in smaller rural areas, you're kind of wondering, how does this translate to me? So it's actually more challenging for a realtor here in Chicago in a major metropolitan area because there's so many. There's 45,000 members in this MLS. And Mike, what do you do to stand apart from the competitors?
Yeah, I did. So it's interesting you say competitors because I just made a post about this on Saturday. I will tell you guys, this is one of the biggest mistakes I made before I even get into any of it, is that I looked at all other agents as competitors when I first started, and just being competitive, I wanted to dominate all of them, and that was just my mindset. It was the wrong mindset. We're not competitors. We work together. You know, people want to work with the people they know and trust. So when I changed that, it was actually crazy how my business took off because people actually wanted to associate with me. So I just want to make sure we're not so competitors. I see what you're saying, but I want to make sure I put that caveat out there because I think it's just so important that we realize that, you know, we're all in this together. There's enough business to go around. You know, some of the ways you stand out is not worrying so much about the other people. You know, focus on yourself and your business and promoting your brand. And you could do this so many different ways. Like the city of Chicago, like Michelle said, has so many people with a license. And it is like, it's crazy how many people that you're going up against listings for. But you gotta do something a little bit different every single time. You know, it depends on who you're going to be sitting with. You know, you got to do your research first off when you're trying to win those things. And if you're trying to stand apart, like, you got to do something different than everyone's doing. Okay, that's where you got to have some kind of creative marketing ideas. And it doesn't have to be anything too crazy. It could literally just be, you know, one of my realtors, we talked about it. He sat on a street corner with his banner up, handing out water. I mean, it's a creative idea, but that's how you stand out. You've got to do something different. We all know we need to be on social media. We all know we need to market to our database. But if you're trying to really do something different, you've got to think outside the box. We had, and this is a great example of this. I had a person come talk to my office, and he's a serial entrepreneur. Actually, Groupon, when Groupon had 3 people, they brought in Phil to help them with their marketing. And you've seen where Groupon's gone since then. He was the guy that I talked to. So I wanted him to come speak to our office, and we did a lunch and learn. And his mind works so differently. You know, he's a serial entrepreneur. He's a marketing guy. He's worked with all these companies. And so I asked him, like, what some suggestions that you have given these companies? And he told me one of them, which I think is still my favorite, was he had a car company, a dealership, come to him, and they didn't know what to do. Their sales were falling. And so he sat with them and he goes, do this. Buy a bunch of pizzas, slap your flyer on it, and go deliver it to local businesses. And that's all they did. They put a flyer on top of a pizza box. I think it cost them a couple $100. Went out to local businesses and they're like, hey, you know, made relationships with them, said, can we leave our flyers here? They did, and I think it was something like their sales went like 150% over the next couple months from where they were at. I mean, just creative marketing.
That's awesome.
So that's how you got to do it. You got to find some way to stand out. It doesn't have to be anything too expensive either. It could be a very simple thing. But if you do something different, you know, you'll definitely make it known.
Someone's asking Phil who? What is Phil's last name?
Phil Castro, Castro.
Okay.
Chicago guy. He's been around. He's got an app called Bar Pass that I've used. It's fantastic. But he's a really good person to kind of connect with.
Okay, question was from Dan in Madison. So thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan.
All right. No, that's fantastic. So again, you know, it doesn't matter the size of your city, all those things, just staying connected locally and getting your name out there is a big thing. So thanks, Mike. Yep. What forms of media do you use to get your name out there? Is it video? Do you do ads? You know, you talked a little bit about some of what you do with your database, but what are you doing to get your name in front of new people?
So video is definitely huge. That's where everyone's going. I think I saw something like 87% of people are preferring video over anything else. I still think there's a place for written word, blogs. And if you have a website and you're not blogging or you're not vlogging on it, you're doing yourself a huge disservice because it ranks so high with the SEO in Google. So, you know, those are a couple of things I would definitely suggest start doing. You know, the other thing is going to be social media and how you promote yourself on it. Those mediums are pretty much where people are at. You know, we spend a lot of time on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on our LinkedIn. So it's things like that that you need to really put a game plan together and use. Again, it's free, so there should be no excuse for not doing it. But the biggest thing with social media is knowing where your people are at. So if you're trying to get your name out there and you are a baby boomer, Instagram is not going to be for you. Facebook is for you. Facebook is for the baby boomers generation. So much so that I read something that the biggest taker and poster of selfies on Facebook is 40-year-old women. So thought that was kind of crazy. But know your medium. So if you're a baby boomer, it's Facebook. If you are a millennial, it's Instagram. I'm a like an early on millennial, so we love photos. If you are a Zennial and you're born from 2000 and on, TikTok, Snapchat, that's where your people are at. So you got to kind of know where your people are going to be at to market yourself to it. LinkedIn, everyone should have a LinkedIn profile. You don't need to post on it often, but it should look very professional.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is more of an information gathering site, so you don't really need to post on Twitter. But then on top of it, it's got to be consistency on these platforms. You know, if you are going to do video, you need to be posting them on your YouTube channel and then posting that on your social media. I mean, that's where the eyes are going to be. And you don't have to have crazy like things to make your videos. You know, I do mine from my iPhone, and it's not even the new iPhone. It's an iPhone 10. I still have to upgrade to get the better camera, but the quality is just unbelievable on these cameras. Buy yourself a little lapel mic, costs less than 20 bucks, maybe a stand, 10, 15 bucks. And for less than 50 bucks, you could put content out that really is easy to use, really easy to do, you know, and it doesn't have to be great. It'll get better over time, but just start posting, just start getting it out. Your people are going to see this. And that's how you kind of start building that name and that reputation with your people, you know. So it's just something. If you're not doing it, and maybe you're not a video person, that's fine. Then write. There's still a place for written word. Like I said, I still think it's fun. I like writing, so I always post a blog once a week, and it doesn't have to be crazy, but if you spend a little bit of time on it, you know, just kind of set yourself up every week knowing you got to do that, it'll help. You'll start bringing in people left and right. You'll see.
That's great. So on the screen here, could you talk through, these are a couple of your Facebook posts that you have put out there recently. And then I'm going to show a couple of Mike's videos too.
Yeah, so the first one is for one of my new listings. And like I said, I do 3D walkthroughs because I think it's just so important right now. So I want to post that because that's what I want people to click on. If you have a property video, you know, you can do that, but make sure it's a real legit property video. Don't do one of the ones that they just slap some kind of boring song up on a bunch of photos that go. That's not a property tour. That's just photos. Yeah. Get the 3D walkthrough up and post that. And that's what I like about this. And then be yourself on it too. Like when you make these posts, like, you got to be yourself. If you could read my post, like, you know, I kind of made a joke about being in your PJs watching your 5th Netflix documentary. So, I mean, that's my personality. I want people to see that so that they know who I am and what they're dealing with. So that's just one of my listing ones. The other side is that's one of my videos that I do on my YouTube channel. As you can see, like, there's things you've got to include when you post videos. You know, you want people to click. That's the whole thing. The more clicks you get, the more your stuff's going to show up with the people that you are friends with. So obviously I got links on there. I want them to go to my YouTube channel. I want them to subscribe to it. Like I said, I do real estate coaching. So of course that's a piece of this as well. Also, if you don't mind, Michelle, I want to invite everybody to my Facebook group. Actually, it's a Facebook group for realtors, built for realtors, by realtors. It's a community I'm trying to build where we all just come to help each other. It's called the Realtor Advice District. So you're more than welcome to come join that, and I hope you do.
Please do.
Yes, please. And then, you know, that's in the link too, or I could actually post it as well.
And Mike, this would be a good time. There are a lot of broker owners watching this webinar, whether it's on Facebook. There's quite a few people on Facebook I can see right now, and here on the Zoom webinar. But for the broker owners, Mike is a broker owner, so a piece of his self-promotion and online reputation is to attract really good, talented people to his brokerage. So what are some of the key things that you do, if you could just share quickly with some of the broker owners?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So so in my company, we have an actual meeting every single month or every single week with me and my marketing person, our creative director, and my other co-owner who I just brought on. And we plan out, we do it once a month. We plan out the social media for the entire month. And we have different posts that happen every single day, Monday through Saturday. And we mix them up. We have, we promote some of our agents. If there's something that has to do with, any type of holidays, we post that. We do a video, as Michelle's about to show you, once a month. And that's something we pay for, and we use clips from that in our posting. So a lot of the stuff we do is really just getting the message out of who we are, how we're different. And then we post this on all of our, medias for the office. And then I share those. I put those on my feed. I want my people to see it. I'm friends with, thousands of realtors across the city. So I want them to see that. And so it's important for me to share, and I try to do it every single day, all of the stuff that the office is posting. The same thing, our agents share it. Because they love working here. Our creative director shares it. My co-owner shares it. So we're getting our message out through, I don't know, maybe say 7 or 8 different people right now, depending on the week and who's sharing what. But the message is definitely getting out. So we do a lot of that. We are also considering the Facebook advertising. We did it in the past. That's been helpful, but you really need to know what you're doing if you're going to do that, because it could be a complete waste of money if you don't know how to do it. I'm certified in Facebook advertising. I've taken courses and classes, so I know how to actually do it properly so I don't waste money. So we're going to probably do that as well, because I think that's probably the most money. You get the most value for your money there. Google AdWords is too expensive nowadays, and the Facebook, it ties into Instagram. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, and we're building out a YouTube channel now that we're doing videos again. And we don't really care about Twitter or LinkedIn as much, but mainly Facebook and Instagram. And I'll tell you, we've had agents join because of our posts. We had one agent actually join because she saw how diverse our office is. And her and another agent, who are both fantastic agents, joined the office just because we had Instagram posts showing the diversity in our office, and she wanted to be a part of that. So it works, and it's free. You set it up, somebody's in charge of it, and that's how we do it. And it's really been helpful for us.
Great. Well, I'm going to show this video because it's very recent, and this is Mike announcing his second location, which for me is right around the corner.
Yeah. I'm beyond ecstatic about opening up a second office, and it was always a goal of ours to do. And 2.5 years since opening up our first stores in the West Loop, we are expanding, and it just shows that we are building a company that is truly there to help agents, that people want to come be involved with this, because otherwise this opportunity never would have presented itself. It's an amazing collaboration with Mark Zipper, who's the previous owner. He's been incredible through this. And honestly, we would have not done this if Mark wasn't going to stay on board.
Stepping into ownership role at RE/MAX Max was the best thing that I could have done. It's so easy. I felt like my approach to education, my approach to empowering agents, comes so naturally. I felt like it was the right thing to do, and it shows. I joined RE/MAX Next because of the fresh approach to running your business. I mean, it's the 21st century. We should be running our business efficiently to better serve our clients, better serve the needs that they have. The future at RE/MAX Next is unlimited, and we feel like we're just getting started.
We have some pretty aggressive goals to keep growing this brand and growing this company. We'd really love to keep pace and open up an office every handful of years. Really, by 2030, we're hoping to have 7 offices across the city of Chicago, possibly the suburbs. We know they're aggressive goals, but that's what we truly believe we can accomplish. When I met Mark and we started talking about his office and talking about the location, I knew it was just a place that has a lot of growth potential. It's a very established area in Lakeview. There's really not any other brokerages around here, so we knew it was going to be a perfect location.
That is an excellent video. So congratulations on that, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, that was a lot of fun to make, and we just filmed our next one last week, and that should come out this week, actually.
Okay, well, no, it's really good. And even though that is from a broker owner and a franchise perspective, everyone, you can still do something very similar for yourself. There's a lot of you that are team leaders. There's a lot of you that are just getting started in the business, but you can you can showcase your brokerage. I know that we're all sort of not really in the office right now, but you can showcase your brokerage in the future, and you can show the people of the business and that you've got a team behind you, because you're never in this alone. Like we say at RE/MAX, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And that's what's important too. So I'll show just a couple, like a 30-second clip here of one of your coaching videos. But the key message here, everyone, is to really take the time to do some good quality video. These type of videos that Mike just created, you can get a long shelf life out of. It's not like he's going to use these once and then it's over. Again, when it comes to recruiting especially, it's just something you can use and have longevity. So let's look at this one. Because here's the thing, he's promoting himself as a coach, and RE/MAX gets a big shout out in the process.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Mike Opyd here, and I am so excited to be sharing this video series with you guys. If you don't know anything about me, let me give you a quick background of my story, all right? I jumped into real estate in 2008. It was during the recession. Nobody was buying or selling. I had just quit my corporate job. I had $2,000 to my name, and I was living at home with my parents. It's just by chance that I happened to ask some questions about real estate and literally became obsessed immediately. I dove headfirst into it with no safety net, and I immersed myself into real estate. I would sit in my...
Now, in the interest of time, I'm going to stop it there, but here's what's really important for everyone to understand. And Mike, please expand on this point, but you all started somewhere. So why not do a video very similar to this? Because that's something that even those of you that have been in the business for 25 years, hey, everyone, I'm reflecting back today on why I got in real estate and what the last 25 years has meant to me and working with my clients. But I think it's important to tell your story, right, Mike?
Yeah, and so one of the biggest clicks or most amount of views you're gonna get, and typically are kind of lifestyle type videos, right? So starting out, it makes perfect sense. If you haven't done videos before, or if you're just gonna start up again and maybe create a new channel or something, do one from like explaining who you are, and make that as the first video everyone sees when they go to your YouTube channel. It's important for you to understand who you are and make them understand why they should watch your other videos and listen to you. And it doesn't take long to do. Like, you could just, put some bullet points together, just talk about it. But like Michelle said, we all have interesting stories. Whether you think they're interesting or not, other people will think they're interesting. So just put it out there, and really you're selling yourself. So that's really what we sell more than real estate, is ourselves. So that's all you're doing. It's a promotional video for you, for that way. Talk about yourself, talk about your background, how you got to where you are, why you do what you do. I mean, people want to see the passion. So, just kind of brag. It's kind of fun actually to do it. It's a little bit humbling when you watch it again. But it's a fun video, and it's a very easy video to make, because you're literally just talking about yourself. and you're not worried about, saying the wrong type of, countertop if you're showing a property off. It's literally just you talking about yourself. So that's the first one I would make for sure. And then I would actually do lifestyle videos after. If you look up a couple people, I'm sure everyone knows Ryan Searhans. He does some pretty awesome videos, $1 Million Listing New York. They're exciting, they're fun, that's a good mix. Gary Vaynerchuk is one of my favorite people. He does a daily vlog, and he has people following him and cameras, and he pays all these people to do it. But if you did lifestyle type videos, like the lifestyle of a realtor, like people are interested in that. People love real estate. So whether it's you in a car, maybe you're walking up to a property, maybe you're showing a property. I mean, you could just take 30-second clips and just really string them all together. And if you have a MacBook or an Apple product, you could just do it in iMovie. It's already included in the computer, and it's very easy to use. That's actually the program I use, is iMovie, to edit my videos. And literally, it's just that simple. People love to see it.
Absolutely. Hey, Mike, I want you to talk really quickly about what you do with your YouTube videos, because he actually mentioned this to me about the videos that I've been posting for INTEGRA. And here's one of the things that Mike does really well on his descriptions, on his videos. Could you talk about this really quick?
Yeah. So look at all that real estate, just to keep it with the theme. That is all space that you can use to promote yourself, to market yourself, to put links to all your stuff on there. If you are not putting more stuff on there, you're really missing out on an opportunity to, promote yourself more. And it's really just, thanks for subscribing, Michelle. People will click the see more button, and it'll drop down, and then you give people an opportunity to read more about you. And then that's really kind of where they're going to decide what they should subscribe or not, because you need to be providing value to these people. And your video is one thing, and then this is the other part where you could provide value to them, where it gives them an opportunity to obviously see your stuff, and then you could obviously direct them to other places. So, it doesn't, basically what I do is I have created it one time. It's a template, and I literally copy and paste the body of this every single time into my videos, and then I'll write a different description for it. So it's, again, not very time consuming, but you have another place where you get to promote yourself. It's foolish not to put stuff on there. It's just, again, it's more opportunities you're creating for yourself. You need to do that. Here's a way to do it. And again, free. It's simple to do. It takes you a couple minutes to write this, the description, and it's a copy and paste. It's that simple.
Right. Free is good. We like that.
Yes.
So this is a good segue into the next topic. Let's talk about online reviews. And by the way, everyone, we will ask your questions here in just a moment. So we just want to get through a couple more things. But we've got right here, Mike is a master at getting so many reviews. Look at his Zillow profile. So what platforms do you use, and how is it that you're so successful in getting people to immediately write those responses to you?
Yeah, so one of the things I'm huge on is systems and processes. I have an after closing process I use. It's a checklist basically of a handful of things I need to do. Obviously, one of them is getting reviews from my clients. If you're not getting reviews, you are missing out on just an incredible way to generate more business. Yeah. Think about it. If someone recommends a restaurant to you, what's the first thing you do? You Google it. You look at the reviews on Yelp, and that's when you make that decision. It's no different in real estate. If someone recommends you, the first thing that person is doing is Googling you. The thing I love about Zillow, Yelp, and Realtor.com, which are the only 3 platforms that I really care about, is they rank so high on Google. They are literally on that first page along with your social media, which is why the social media obviously is so important. So Zillow, Realtor.com, and Yelp, all 3 of them, you need to be getting reviews from your clients. The way I do this is basically I have part of my checklist is an email template that I send out to my people. I first go into Zillow, and you could send them basically a message straight through Zillow to review you. Same thing with Realtor.com. You could send them a message straight through the platform to review you. Yelp, you have to actually ask for the review. You can't just send it through there. So that's where my template comes in. It's a simple email template. I'm happy to share it with you guys. I asked them to please give me 5 stars. I put links to, I tell them that I just sent them an email through Zillow and Realtor.com and to please review me there. And then I tell them that, Zillow, then I mention Yelp as well. And I have that link to my profile on Yelp. And then I tell them, look, just copy and paste. You don't have to write a new review. Just copy it and paste in every single one. It'll take you a couple seconds, but I stress that this is how my business is built. And if they don't mind just taking a couple seconds to do it, it would mean the world to me. It's really that simple. So that's the first thing I do. Now, not everyone's going to review you right away. And honestly, not everyone's going to review you ever. It's just how some people are. So the next thing I do is I have a doc that I use to keep track of all my transactions. Simple Google Doc. If you have Gmail, it comes with your G Suite anyways. It's free. And I just track who has given me a review and who hasn't. And when I reached out to them last, once a month, I will reach out to all the people who haven't reviewed me, and I just ask for the recommendation again. You could go into Zillow, you could go into Realtor.com, you could send them a reminder, and then I literally forward the email, my email template. I go, hey guys, I know you're busy, hope all is well. If you don't mind, I just sent you a couple more review requests. Can you also please review me on Yelp? Here's the email I sent before. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know if I could ever help in any other way. So it's definitely a system I have to follow up. And honestly, there's still people I'm chasing 3 years later who haven't reviewed me, but I don't care. I'm going to keep hitting them up because worst case scenario, they're still seeing emails from me. They're still hitting me up to help them out. And ironically, one of the ones you showed, Michelle, my most recent listing, and when you showed the social media stuff, that's actually someone I sold to like 3 or 4 years ago who never reviewed me, ever. But he still saw me reaching out to him. He was part of my database, and now I have his property on the market. Never reviewed me one time, but obviously I left an impression if he's using me again, regardless if he gave me that review. So you got to get it. You got to get them. And it doesn't matter if it's a rental client, get a review. The more reviews you have, the higher you rank on Zillow. The higher you rank on Zillow and Realtor.com, the higher your listings will rank on these sites as well when people are searching in those zip codes. So a lot of my listings will reach, near the top of the first pages when people are looking in those areas. And I don't spend a dime on these sites. I refuse to spend money on Zillow. I think it's a complete waste of time. Same thing with Realtor.com. But I still get higher rankings just because of my reviews and my profile being maxed out the way it is. So it's beyond important that you do this. Plus, on top of that, if you just want to add another layer of how awesome these are, you can now take these reviews and promote them on your social media. How much more powerful do you need than that? Like, someone gives you a 5-star review and has this awesome description of how amazing it was working with you. There you go. Post it on social media, put it on Instagram, put it on Facebook, put it on LinkedIn, and now the world sees how amazing you are without ever having to go to those sites. And then put a link to those profiles in the post so that they can go see the rest of your reviews. It's kind of how it works. It's very much like a circle. You're just kind of, it all links together very well is what I'm trying to get at. But it sounds time consuming. Tell you if you do it a couple times, you put a checklist together. It's not that difficult.
Right. And I think for the most part, a lot of you have utilized Zillow in the past, and Realtor.com, as Mike has mentioned, also has a pretty robust review platform now. He's got 43 on there, over 100 on Zillow, but 43 located here. And one of the things Mike and I talked about offline too, some of you, we've really been talking a lot about Google My Business reviews and Facebook reviews because of the huge the enormity of the results from those two mega platforms. So you'll find the ones that you like, but like you said, Zillow, I know a lot of you have a love-hate relationship with Zillow, and that's for you to decide, but it's still where consumers are going. It's still the number one real estate tech portal that you can go to for sure. So Mike, just really quick, what mistakes have you seen other realtors make out there, or maybe some of your own when you first started collecting reviews?
I think there was the lack of consistency with it. We just kind of expect if we send the message out that people are going to respond to it. We expect the same thing with, any type of social media post that we're just expecting everyone to love it, and then no one does, and we get all pissed off and depressed about it. But you got to follow up with people. People are we're busy nowadays. Everyone is busy. So one of the things I didn't do well enough in the beginning was follow up with people. I also wasn't asking the right questions when I was sending out my template. I found it's very powerful if you tell people what you want them to do instead of just leaving it in their court. So I literally asked them for a 5-star review, and it's helped me get 5-star reviews. Like that's really what you want from these people, is not only to say some nice things, but people are going to look at those stars first. When Michelle had Zillow up, you see they're bright green stars. They're the first thing people see are those stars. So you really kind of got to tell people what you're looking for. And then on top of it, make it very simple for them. And that's why I love saying, look, just copy and paste this into all of the platforms, and then they only have to write it once. And even, I don't care if it's the same review over and over. You never know who's on what platform and where they're finding you. They might not know that's across all 3 of them, but they're on realtor.com and they see this review. They may never get to Zillow or Yelp. So you make it simple for people. And then the follow-up is huge though, because you got to keep reminding them. And a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I totally forgot. A couple of things that I've talked to other agents about. Some people ask for reviews before a closing. I never like doing that, but it is an option. I always want to see it through because I feel like my job's not done until they're closed. So, but that is something I know other agents do. And then what did I was talking about? I guess just a follow-up. If you guys put together a game plan to follow up these people to get those reviews, more often than not, you're going to get them. And that wasn't something I was doing well enough. I kind of just assumed they were going to give them to me. Once I started following up and reminding them, that's when more people started to review me.
Well, and I think that's the key, Mike. And if you'll take note, those of you that heard Mike, what he said earlier, in case you just joined us, he did mention the words systems and processes, okay? That's really important. And it's just like it is with a lot of aspects of your business. But the fact that he has the Google sheet where he's tracking, I love that you keep track of who wrote a review for you and who didn't. So sort of like it's your goal. It's probably a personal challenge of yours to get that person to respond. But like you said, they may not. There's always going to be that. But having those consistent mechanisms in place is really going to keep you organized. It can get out of control easily, can't it?
Yeah, I'm a very organized and systematic person, and I have to be in full disclosure. So I'm selling real estate. I'm running a brokerage with 30 plus agents. I have a coaching business, and just from personal information, I have 2.5-year-old twin boys and a wife I gotta try to keep happy. So I have a lot going on in my life, and I have systems for everything to keep me organized. It keeps me sane. I have systems all the way down to how to change a kid's diaper. That's how I'm programmed. But when it comes to real estate, especially if you want to scale a business or you want to start a team, if you don't have systems and processes in place already, you're never going to be able to do that. And I'm talking about systems for everything, for what happens when you first meet a buyer, what happens when you get a lead, which is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make, is the lead follow-up that they have is atrocious. It's terrible. I actually have a 75-day plan that I do to follow up with leads, and I don't hit them every single day for 75 days, but right. I figure after 75 days, if they're not going to respond, then okay, move on. But you got to have systems for everything. And the more you put in place, the more efficiently your business is going to run. And you need to be tweaking these systems constantly. Every single day, I'm trying to find different ways that I could do things more efficiently. It could be anything from just creating email templates that I maybe have not built out. Actually, it's funny, quick story is one of my agents just asked me for the email template that I use when I fire a client. And it's only happened twice, but I built a template out for her. It was basically based off an old email I sent. I saved that in my email templates folder that I have in Gmail. It's just the folder I created. And now if I ever need that again, if I ever come in a situation, it's there for me. I'm not rewriting it. I'm not wasting all this time. And those are the things that I'm doing every single day. Just how can I be more efficient with my time so that I could just maximize the hours I'm awake, so, and especially if someone's looking to scale up a business and start a team, if you want to do that, you got to have all these systems in place because you need to share that with your team members. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's going to be a crapshoot, and you're going to be trying to, organize them when everything should be done for them so that you could go on and generate more business. That's the whole point of starting a team, is to free up your time. You put these systems and stuff in place, everything just ends up running as a machine. It's just efficiently. Every cog is working properly. And that's how agents build teams, and that's how agents grow with their production level. Right. So it's something that I'm working with a lot of agents out in the office. I had a veteran agent who's been in the industry for 20 plus years. I sat with him last week because he was all over the board, and it kind of blew him away, some of the things I was suggesting, because he just, you get busy, you forget these things, and you don't do them. I'm the other way. If I'm busy, I need to remember these things constantly and figure out how I'm going to do them more efficiently so that when I am busy, I'm not overwhelmed, is pretty much what it comes down to. Right.
Well, I could definitely learn a thing or two from you, as you and I have known each other for some time now, and you're way more organized than I am. So let's take some questions here, and I'm watching the time, everyone. We are prepared to stay a little bit longer. We're approaching the top of the hour. So I just want to let you know. So Greg wants to know, do you only email your newsletter, or do you send a printed version as well?
I do not send a printed version, just because the way I look at it is I'm sending the postcard, but you could switch that up and send that, unfortunately. But the thing is, you're going to be hitting these people twice with the same thing. I like to change it up. I like the newsletter too because of, I know that we're all on our emails every single day, right? Everyone's got their email on their phone. So what I like about it is even if they don't open the email, they're still seeing the email. So, the newsletter I send out has real estate in the subject, and I highly, highly suggest using anything to make your subject line stand out, whether it's emojis or it's just, brackets around the word real estate. We get hundreds and hundreds, sometimes, I get thousands of emails a day. I'm not gonna be able to see everything in there, so I gotta stand out in these people's inboxes. So I do stuff like that at least worst case scenario, even if they delete it, there's still that second where they see my name, they say real estate, and then they click delete. That's all I care about. I don't really care, actually. I obviously want them to open it up, but that's the biggest thing, is I want to make sure it's hitting their inbox, not going to spam, and then they see my name in real estate. And then it's just creating that remembering me in their minds, is creating that branding. That's what I care about. But it might not be a bad idea. Try maybe doing a mailer is never a bad thing too, especially if you have really good content. I have people click on my newsletter, so you kind of can't do that. So it'd be definitely a different format if you mailed it out.
Right. And I do have copies of Mike's newsletters. I'll send everyone in the follow-up along with this recording. I'll send you a sample of one of them that I've gotten recently for sure. So Dan wants to know, what is your favorite personal topic that you send to your database?
So my favorite one is something exciting going on in the area, and it's in Chicago. It's a big city, so this might be different in your area, but one of the things that I like sending out is, what are those cranes that everyone sees? What buildings are going up? I get that question all the time when I am driving my buyers around, like, what building is that? What building is that? So I relate a lot of my content to the buildings in Chicago and what new construction's happening. If there's a cool article that I saw about a building, whether it's been there for hundreds of years, it doesn't matter to me. But I get a lot of clicks and a lot of questions about buildings. And it's just because people like to hear about the architecture. So you could throw stats at people, you can send them about the interest rates and all that, but the way I look at it is if I'm looking at articles, like what excites me, that's what I want to share with people. Or if people are like your friends and your other realtors are posting articles on Facebook and it catches your eye, more than likely it's going to catch your database's eye as well. So those are the type of articles I'm posting. It's really anything that's really just attention grabbing. Whether it's got a catchy subject line, the photo looks really cool. Like I said, we're very photo based nowadays. So those are the type of things. If it's something exciting, I want that to be on there because that does get people, to click basically.
Right. Absolutely. What's the name of the group again that you have started? Someone wants to know on Facebook.
Yeah, it's called the Realtor Advice District. So RAD, which I thought was cool.
Realtor Advice District. Okay,
Yep.
Shannon. Shannon's asking about that. So thanks, Shannon.
Yeah, it is a private group, so I only really want realtors to be a part of it. But it's 3 simple questions, and you'll get approved. I think we have close to 75 members right now, and I'm trying to grow it out. And so please feel free to. I usually post once a day on it. I do live videos on it with just general topics. But I also encourage people to share and ask questions and try to stimulate as much conversation as possible.
Definitely. So Beverly's asking, I think you might have answered this, but what camera do you use for the lifestyle pieces? Is that your phone? And what else are you doing for, yeah.
That's it. This guy. And the one thing about that though, is I highly, highly suggest is getting a lapel mic. These cameras are fantastic. Their microphones suck. Unless you've got it like right here, which is gonna be really weird to shoot a video. So you gotta get something that's gonna drown out the sound. I went on Amazon. I think it was like $15 that I got a lapel mic. I'm actually gonna buy a new one because I have a cord with mine, but they're not very expensive, but they drown out the sound and they only focus on you. So I just use the iPhone. Even Samsung or any type of smartphone nowadays, these cameras are amazing what they can do. And that's pretty much it. I use the video function on there and I'll record snippets throughout the week. And then I will just download those to my laptop and put them in the iMovie and just mess with it there. I just finished one last night. I just posted my video set to hit today at 9 o'clock about routines on YouTube. And it probably took me a couple hours to edit it. I do it over a couple of days because I know it's time consuming. But that's it. It's really that simple.
Right. Now for the pieces that we had shown you, which were more the promotional for your coaching, but then also for your office and your expansion plans, that was done professionally, right?
The coaching stuff, no, I do that myself.
Wow, there you go.
Yeah, iMovie, I'm telling you, iMovie is one of the best programs out there. It's cheap, but there's a ton of really good ones. But no, the office videos are professionally. We have a production company that we partner with. They do all of it. So like I said, we recorded ours for May. We recorded last week. So that should ideally be out this week. It costs a little bit more money if you're going to hire a production company, but if you have the means to do it, I will tell you the quality and the creativity is incredible. But it's, again, you got to make sure you justify the value that you're getting for it. If you don't have a budget for it, I don't suggest doing it. Just use the phone.
Right.
If you're really comfortable, I really want to stress this. If you are really comfortable in front of the camera, go live. Go live. Do Facebook Live. Do YouTube Live. Michelle actually recommended a program to me called StreamYard, which I'm looking into, where you could stream live videos all to different platforms. But live video, authentic video, people talking off the cuff is so powerful. And that's one of the cool things about YouTube when you don't have a production company and you're doing it yourself, is you can really show your knowledge. And that's what I love about it is if you know a topic, like it's so powerful for you to just stare at a camera and talk as opposed to staring down a cue card. Because I don't know about you, like if I'm going to a presentation, I'm paying money, or if I'm going to spend time out of my life that I'll never get back because we have limited lifespan here, to watch somebody's video, they better know what the hell they're talking about and not stare at a cue card the whole time.
Good point.
Yeah.
So another question from Cheryl is, are you using an automated system for your social media posts or campaigns?
I do not. So you can use Hootsuite. It's awesome, but I think you got to do a mix of it though. I wouldn't automate everything because you kind of lose that authenticity of it. But if you're posting stuff like articles, or if you're posting your videos and you want to set those up to go out at a certain time, just because we are busy, then I think those programs are wonderful. It's a great way to add on to what you're doing, because you could set it up on Sunday for the entire week. I use Evernote as one of my checklist programs. So every day I know I need to go in and do things, and that's one of them, is post on social media, share the office posts.
Mm-hmm.
I need those reminders, so that works for me. But otherwise, Hootsuite is fantastic. It's free. I think you could use up to 2 or 3 different platforms that you could send it out to before you have to start paying. But I would say just set it up for the week and do that on top of things. You obviously can't do Facebook Live stuff there. So you could definitely use that as an addition. But no, I actually do everything myself.
Very good. Thank you. Someone's asking, an anonymous person is asking, can you please send the template with the replay link? I'm assuming they mean your YouTube template. We talked about a couple of others. So anonymous attendee, if you're still on, could you clarify exactly which template you're looking for, and we'll be happy to help you out. Or email me directly or contact me directly. So Greg wants to know, what CRM are you using? And I know, hey, just a full disclaimer, I know some of us have Booge, some of us are using something else, but Mike, what are you using?
So I switched to Booge, and the main reason why is I had Contactually for like ever, and I loved Contactually. Compass bought them out, and I refused to let Compass get any of my information or my people's information. So I pulled everyone out of that, and I put it in the Booge. As we all know, Booge is still a work in progress, so I have to go in and actually, find which people I need to reach out to. It is a little bit more time consuming. I've actually reached out to them multiple times, and they're working on a way to automate it so they can send me an email every morning to let me know I have to reach out to these 5 people. But I'm currently using Booge. I've looked into a lot of other ones. I just think for what I need them for, I'm not spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a program for that. I know some people use Top Producer, but that's like $1,000+. So I really just use Booge. And I think over time, it's going to be a great program. You just kind of got to deal with the clunks right now, but it's very that simple. You don't even have to get a complicated one too. I've used Excel for a long time before I ever chose Contactually. It's just however you organize things is what you need to use. I do see people waste a lot of money on CRMs they think is going to do everything, and you get all this functionality and you never use it. So just make sure if you are choosing a CRM, you're being careful with that decision.
For sure. And like I said, I know all of you use different forms of that out there in addition to maybe what Remax provides, but the best CRM is the one you're actually going to use.
Yes, exactly.
That's the way to go, for sure. All right, Rachel says, lots of great info. Thank you, Mike. And James wants to know, hello, James from Indianapolis. He wants to know if you will share your 75-day plan with what your touch points are.
I will.
Not right now, but in the fall.
Yeah, so you'll reach out to me separately, James. It's actually a product on my website that I sell, but for you guys, I can share it with you. So just reach out to me. I'll send it to you for sure.
Yep. And I'm actually sending you Mike's email address right now, James. So there you go. Anna wants to know, does your creative director use, okay, we've already answered that question about a social media posting tool. And Steve wants to know, what is your Facebook page for you, for your brokerage?
It's Meet Remax Next, and it's at Meet Remax Next. So that's our Instagram as well. So you can see some of the stuff that we're putting out on a daily basis.
Do you have one for yourself, Mike, or just the brokerage?
I do. Well, I don't have a Facebook page, so this is actually an interesting subject. I don't think personally, unless you have a team, that you should have a business page. And this is my opinion on this, and I've spoke to a lot of people about it. It's just that when you have a regular page and you are mixing it up with personal and business, you already have thousands of friends who are seeing your content. Why would you recreate the wheel? If you create a business page, you now have to invite these people to it. And how many things do we get invited to on a daily basis? Different pages, different causes that it's going to get lost in the mix. So, and you can't re-invite people, which is frustrating, but you can't. So if they don't ever see that invitation, it's going to sit there. So I don't think, unless you have a team where you're promoting other people under you, like other agents and things like that, then it makes sense. But I would highly suggest use your personal personal Facebook page to promote yourself, promote your business, mix it up, and one of the things I definitely want to make sure I point out is that the way Facebook is run is that they use a program or a technology called Edge technology. And the way it is if you don't interact with people, people don't interact with you. So you might have the greatest content ever, but if you are not liking and commenting on people's stuff, they'll never see any of it. So one of the things that I did to circumvent this is you could create friends lists in Facebook. And what I did was I created one for my past clients, and I created one for my the agents in the office, so I can keep up with their social media and stuff too and make recommendations. So now I see what everything my clients are posting, and then I go in, I comment every single morning. It's part of my Evernote checklist. And then they see my content in return. And the way it works like that is because Facebook wants to give you the best user experience possible. They're not going to show you stuff from people you don't interact with because there's no reason to. It would be like Twitter, and you would just scroll endlessly, and it would be annoying to stare at your walls or stare at the content being posted. So they're only going to show you the people that you interact with, and vice versa. So you kind of got to make the effort to go in there and like people's stuff, and then they'll start to see your stuff. So I don't think you need a business page unless you have a team. But if you are going to use Facebook, go in there, spend a couple minutes on it. It doesn't take very long, but interact with people. And also, I would hate myself if I didn't say this. Make sure your profiles are a direct reflection of your business. It's a tagline, something that I say that I've said for years. It's some part of my coaching is that everything an agent does is a direct reflection of their business. Social media is a huge aspect of that. If you like to party back in the day and you were doing keg stands and beer bongs and doing inappropriate stuff, take it down. Take it down immediately. Save it on a server, save it on your computer. Your clients will find this stuff and they will dig. People love to dig. They love to gossip. They will find every single site about you and they will dig deep. And if they see something they don't like, they're moving on to the second or third realtor they thought of. And it's just, that's how people are. So, scrub your content, make it a reflection of you and your brand. And I swear, you'd be surprised on how many people, how deep people will go. But long-winded answer, but I wanted to make sure I kind of touched on everything there.
No, that's really good advice. I appreciate that so much. A lot of requests for the 75 items, everyone. It's mike@remaxnext.com. Reach out to him, and he can share some other things he has available if you're interested in his coaching, or he can share that because you're a special guest on this webinar, and that's good. One more question again about the Facebook group. Is it called the Realtor Advice Group?
Advice District.
District. Okay, yeah, there you go, Lynn.
Brad.
Thanks, Lynn, from Minnesota. Yeah, we appreciate that. So district. Last call for questions, everyone. Thanks for staying longer with us, and Mike, especially to you, thanks for staying. We know you're quite busy, and we appreciate your time. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's take us to the end here, Mike. What are your final words of advice to either whether it's a brand new agent or to anyone that's really been in the business for a while when it comes to online reputation building?
You know what, the biggest thing you could do is however you want people to see you is how your social media and your online presence needs to be. If you have an incredible personality, you need to show that. If you are conservative, show it. Just make sure that when you are, one of the biggest things I would suggest actually is Google yourself. If you don't do this on a regular basis, I actually set up a Google alert for myself, for my name. So in case I do show up anywhere, I could see what I'm showing up as. But Google yourself and then see what other people are seeing. Make the adjustments necessary so that they're seeing the brand and the name that you want them to see. Because like I said, people, they make judgments very instantly. If it's something they don't like, they're gonna move on. So, spend some time to do it if you haven't already. And I would say that for any agent. If you're a new agent and even a veteran agent too, the other thing I just want to touch on is make sure that you are really marketing to your people in your database, because this will tie into your online reputation because they're going to find you there too. But if you just keep adding people to your database and marketing to them, then you're hitting them from pretty much every angle possible, and you'll create that brand recognition in their minds.
Awesome. I can't thank you enough, Mike. You're doing an amazing job. Congratulations on your second location.
Thank you.
An office in Remax. So I know we're going to see amazing and great things coming from you and your agents here. And for me personally, I'll get to see it happen right in front of me here in the Chicagoland area. But I know Remax INTEGRA is very grateful for your time and your expertise, as are all the guests on this webinar and on Facebook. Shout out to the Facebook audience too. So thanks, Mike. Thanks, everyone. Have a wonderful week. And Summer, any last words?
Stay safe.
All
Stay
right.
safe, everyone. Go sell something.
That's right. Go Remax. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.